Like, you know, I thought Dignitas would win, but Curse for 10-0, you know what? I feel like I'm going to change my option here. See which way it goes right now. The stun charged up here for Kiwi Kid. Also goes for a Spell Thief's Edge. I don't see that actually pan out amazingly for Annie typically. Just because it's a bit hard to get stacked, especially against the Leona lane. But
yeah, they're probably expecting 2v1 situations because they're so common nowadays. 4.5 with all the invades to protect junglers' first buffs, which are, to be fair, extremely important. And there's a reason that everybody does that. There are other plays that you can do. You can everybody stack up and try and defend a buff, or you can invade the off buff. It's just that the other plans involve a little bit more risk, and each extra ounce of risk that you have in the early game makes these teams very uncomfortable. They don't want to have the other team snowball an early lead off of level 1 just because of they chose the wrong buff to invade.
Yeah, so Curse playing a bit risk averse here. I actually want to check back on the Summoner Spell picks because we actually have a pretty varied lineup actually. So as per normal, everyone's running Flash, but it's two exhausts here for Curse. Mid laner and support running exhaust, primarily for the Jax, I'm guessing. Scar running exhaust for Voyboys, Yasuo as you talked about, but Ignite for Kiwi Kid. So kill pressure here in this bottom lane.
Yeah, he actually is opting with the old Summoner Spell, Ignite. It got a little buff as well. You got to give him some love. You can get vision of people if they go into a bush while they're Ignite, then you will continue to see them.
Ignite?
I'm going with Wombat on that one.
Ignite, all right. It's fair enough. Gonna make a sweater.
All right, so the buff trade here, this is the new normal start for everybody. And it looks like it will transition into that 4-man level 2 lane push. Yeah, the double jungles coming out from both sides.
Slightly different looks for the two, though. So,
ooh, Shinsao going back to get his buff.
Yeah, exactly. I will dominate soloed his own buff, got level 2, and is going to grab his own red. Meanwhile, Quas is just taking the white by himself. I guess he's not going to recall backwards because, again, it's a 4v0. I guess he can just regen without it. And then they'll group up for the 4-man push. Meanwhile, it's the duo jungle here for the Dignitas group.
Yeah, so Dominate had a longer path to walk, but he is going to hit that level 3. It looks like Mundo actually trying to do some jungling of his own. So they're on the top lane. That turret has the champion reduction. And they're also taking the longer route. So Dignitas are by far going to have the lead in the turret rush down. They've just gone with the level 2s. Whereas Dominate here, teaming up with Quas for the double golems has hit that level 3.
Now, one thing that's going to be interesting to watch for, though, is that Dignitas pushed on the second wave, meaning most of these minions are now dead as that turret went down. So their second turret push is going to be very minion-light. Their cannon minion just now showing up. Curse's push is on wave 3. A lot more minions here. They'll move faster, though Dignitas is farther ahead.
Yeah, you got to keep track of that cannon minion. So important. Dignitas's cannon has just come in as well. This one should probably be able to save most of that giant wave for Curse. They've got a lot of ground to make up, though. And meanwhile, you have to always think about the mid lane as well. You know, there's so much action going on in the side lanes. That means the mid lanes get to have isolated matchups. And Voyboy was the one who got that counter pick. He's the one who's trying to use the Yasuo to punish Scar's Nidalee early, try and keep her down before level 6.
And Dignitas made their way up to the inhibitor by about 4 minutes, but Curse with the early recalls are going to make their way back. So +1 turret for Dignitas. However, Cop is still in that side lane, shoving it down into the tier 2 turret, getting a bit of a minion lead for that. See how much that pays out.
Noting the Curse back time here for Voyboy. He's timed his back. When everybody goes invisible from the bottom lane push, he does not want to be one of those mid laners that gets ganked. He's a melee champion. He usually has to be fairly far up in that mid lane, and we've seen several mid laners since the inception of this new meta be ganked by surprise support ganks mid or something after they're done pushing.
Yeah.
Voyboy will not be caught off guard.
It looks like there's not going to be many surprise ganks in general. Look at the item builds. I will dominate Voyboy both. Grab dual wards on their way back to the base. Machete plus double Doran's Blade here, so the investment in early power, a lot of vision here. Curse setting up for an early vision game.
Yeah, also in these 4 versus 0, I guess, switches, you also have to know what each team is going to do with their wave that was shoved all the way in. Looks like both of them are opting to try and push it back. They're not trying to have any deep freezes here. Dignitas, they at least have one extra turret to fall back on for Jax, and they're happy to funnel all of their extra side lane farm into that Jax. They want their solo laner to be more of an impact towards that mid game, because if they do not have him with that teleport, then they're going to lose out on the first dragon.
Kiwi Kid already killed one of the pink wards, but walked right by the second. So Curse invested 200 gold, lost half it.
Dignitas talked about what are they going to do with the big wave. They move up top. They get the early positioning here.
All right, well, Cop saves him with the Summoner heal. He might have been okay anyway, but Summoner burn just to get him out of there quickly. 3-man defense up here. Quas pushing the bottom lane by himself. Cruiser will TP down there to defend. Skara and Voyboy in a battle. Level 5 versus 4, actually a bit of a lead there.
And look at this swing from Dignitas. They send everybody up top to make Curse react to them. They have all their resources trying to defend that turret, and Dignitas abandoned their giant wave. That's the huge wave that you usually see teams pushing with, but they make a really good call. They use their teleport down bottom, catch that wave at their turret, and actually swing everybody towards the mid.
Get a bit of damage for it. Cocoon goes on and I will dominate, actually. Curse on the back foot with all of these moves here. Cruiser did get some farm in the bottom lane. They're 37 to 29 across those guys. And the Jax is really scaling. He is level 6. Mundo not yet there. Cruiser got a good deal with these lanes.
Yeah, so what they did here with Dignitas is not only did they funnel, mid lane.
Big engage. Kiwi Kid very low on health, but the damage comes back. First blood goes through to Dignitas. Cutie Pie trying to get his team to safety, but Voyboy gets the knockup. Still getting the damage across. The counterattack by Curse looking pretty good. One hit to go on Crumbs. Voy gets in turret range, has to flash. He is one hit from dead. Little over aggressive.
Yeah, 1 versus 1 exchange there for Curse initiating when they still only had 3 people, so it's sort of a 3 versus 4 for a small amount of time. And they only trade kills. Very dangerous for them. And it's good for Dignitas now that Skara has finally hit that level 6. We will look for the blue buffs next time around. Let's see here. How far is Corki? He's fairly close, but again, it's a little bit early. Kiwi Kid does get some distance with his flash, and it buys him enough time to get his stun off. So that was huge for them. Cop eventually does come in and answer the kill, though.
He's going to make it, though, a 600 gold lead, though, for Dignitas. Of course, they're the team that's plus a turret. But, you know, being the team that has the first blood bonus gold for 150, the extra turret's worth about 700, them being only up 600 means that the farm is going Curse's way right now. They are out CSing, getting individual gold in general on the map. So that is one thing to keep in mind for Curse, is the long laning phase so far is
one of the most interesting things about the changes to the early game is watching where teams actually choose to put their money, because before, a lot of laners' income depended on how good of a laner they were. You know, how well can you CS against your opponent and deal with jungle pressure. Now, though, teams actually get the choice early on, who do they want to funnel that side lane farm into that's been pushed in past 2 turrets. And Dignitas are putting a lot of their money into Jax. They tried to get him that full top lane wave all the way up to the turret, and then they also teleported him down bottom to get all of that. So it's very interesting to see, and it's pretty much expected when you do have that Jax who scales so well towards the late game, to see where they want to put it. Now, the next question that is going to come up, how will they deal with any sort of dragon pressure? Because the teleport was used for Cruiser, but it was used on a turret, and it will come back up very soon. So they can actually reposition him one more time.
Yeah, Cruiser TP up very, very soon. Quas already is there. Voyboy going to hold the lane in the top side. Looks like a rotation by Dignitas not going to pan out here, as Curse also made that move. But Cutie Pie still wants this push. He is still clearing minions up in the top side, wanting this push to work.
And he's got 3 people up top already swinging down towards mid here for Dignitas. Cop's got to be a little bit more careful.
Okay, good dodge there by Cop, but his turret very nearly dead.
And Voyboy being up top, he does not have a teleport. Dignitas could try and rush something here. They're getting the early control of this mid lane, which is really, really low.
And there's the minion line. Looks like Dignitas don't want to force this. Bunny Fufu not even level 6, but they don't want to risk the engage anyway. Cruiser and Quas just chilling in the bottom lane, 8 for 7. This matchup actually is continually going Cruiser's way. This minion lead has gone plus 20 since I last looked at it.
Yeah, he's gone with the early burst build here for Jax, the Sheen. So that just makes his harass even more scary. In the laning phase with Jax, by the way, it's quite easy what you do. He's very strong right now. Once you hit that level 6, you auto-attack a minion twice to get your ulti proc, and then you leap strike onto them with Empowered Strike. adding Sheen onto that is so much burst damage. He's almost like a mage at that point.
And if you fight him, he's got attack speed already. You can dodge you for a while. It works out quite nicely. He's a great laner once you hit 6. PewDiePie, he's going to get the bottom lane farm. His Cruiser went back. Looks like Cruiser will hold the top lane. More well-equipped to stay in lanes with no turrets available. That's fine. Dominate still on the clears, though. It's going to be Ancient Golem for Crumbs, no surprise, but Wriggle's Lantern for Dominate. He's actually 14 stacks, and Kurt's going to start out on Dragon.
So they actually have amazing positioning on this. Should be uncontested. Now, in the last series, there was a lot of criticism for Nintendo and his management of the stacks. However, you have to remember that these games are the lane swaps, and you have to put some time into turret pushing. However, Dominate is doing a pretty good job of balancing the off time in his jungle, and also you have to remember that you can also steal away big camps from your opponent's jungle. So every time you see them available, do not be afraid to do some counter jungling.
Not right now, Dignitas. Playing it slow and steady. Curse kind of doing the same. They've actually made a good move for some global objectives, though, with that Dragon going down. And the early gold lead from the first blood and the turret pretty much washed away now at this point. Pretty much even game right now. Scar happy to keep farming up, though, on Nidalee. Still just chilling with the Chalice. This mid lane turret so close to dead. But Dig don't quite commit for it.
Yeah.
PewDiePie going to kill that ward away. Nice choice.
That's why wave clear is so important in the new meta, because there's so much time spent sieging, and you want to buy as much time as you can for your jungler to be able to actually jungle. Corki's a good champion for that as far as AD carries go, but it's not enough, and they can't hold on to that mid lane. Good little move here from Dig, rotating from the mid lane after it's dead all the way up to top.
And here we are, Dignitas. Their entire lineup is here.
Quas, excuse me, has his teleport. So this could be a 5v5 if they wanted to go for it. If they're not going to go for it, they should be having Quas shove his lane as hard as possible. Oops. Sideways
wind wall right there. Late teleport comes in. Curse wait until the turret goes down, but no engage whatsoever. Dignitas, 2 turrets unanswered.
Yeah, a few little mechanical mistakes there from Curse all at the same time. Does cost them that large cooldown for teleport. They already lose the turret and don't get the fight, and they also don't get the shove down bottom. That wave that Quas was working on is not even going to hit the turret. The minion wave is going to stop right before it, and that will be PewDiePie, very happy PewDiePie, able to go soak all of that blob money right up.
He'll get to have his pie and eat it too. Ah, Javelin missed. This guy's going to try again. Puts the trap down. There he goes. Blue buff for himself. Even if it didn't, if he didn't hit the turret quickly, like Cruiser still had TP, there was almost no way that was going to nobody.
Yeah, that was just perfect timing there, though. That's going to be a stacked up Bloodthirster. Perfect for PewDiePie. The other thing that's good for them, as we just saw, controlling blue buff. They didn't have any hard time with it, even though it was the dual invade and both teams exchanged blue buffs. There was no small lizard left there to delay the respawn of it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was theirs at the very beginning of it all, and they kept it going. So it's interesting to me that Curse is playing so slowly in this game. It feels like one of the games where they lost to CLG, where they were so afraid to make any moves that Counterlogic Gaming like kept pushing, and Curse never actually went to go engage. Like, well, this one's not good yet. This one's not good yet. Dignitas have now answered 4 turrets in the mid game. Curse have engaged exactly 1 fight. No one's making any plays.
I think they've been trying to accommodate the Pharaoh Flare jungler into the lineup here. They were doing their best to hold all of these moves from Dig without having to call Dominate, because he's not going to do that much at a turret. Xin Sao not that great when compared to Elise when he's sieging up. Crumbs will obviously have a pretty big advantage in that, able to harass under turret and be ranged. So Curse are sort of biding their time early. I think the biggest mistake for them was that top lane move. They wanted to finally go for it. That was their hard engage. It's the hard engage versus Nidalee. You need to actually make that play work for them to stay more even in this game.
Yeah. Well, we're going to see 2 minutes till Dragon. That's going to be maybe the next big fight. Dignitas still working the map. Now, Dominate's at 24 stacks now, so he's about at a 15-minute combined, which is still a rather quick clip
It's really good time for the swap that happened.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about, how they were sort of sacrificing little things to try and get him to that point. It's such a huge burst in power when you get the conversion up to a Feral Flare. Because then not only will it stack with the monsters, but also the kills and assists. And the sustain with Xin Sao is amazing. If he builds one defensive item after this, then he will be a fairly effective tank, as long as he's able to continue attacking throughout the fight.
Okay, well, here's the test. Curse, they've got nothing else to wait for now. I feel like Jax would likely outscale Dr. Mundo. I mean, Yasuo's always going to be great, but with an exhausting enemy team, you have to question how often do you have to fight to make that finally pay off. Scar, of course, with the Athene's already done. Interestingly enough, actually, doing Athene's versus a physical damage mid laner. You often see all kinds of different builds when you fight, somebody's going to be in your face, deal a lot of AD. But Scar wanting the regen, wanting the siege build.
Yeah. That plus blue buff will be plenty for him. It's interesting the summer spells now. Okay, double man gank up top.
Nope.
Negative. Now, do you think we will progress to the point where everybody's just running heals and exhausts and teleports, and we even forego flash? Because they're so strong right now, and heal actually gives some move speed. Wait till we see a team fight where there's 4 exhausts.
5 heals, 4 exhausts, and a smite.
Yeah.
I actually wonder, like, I'll entertain the thought, right?
Just try it, and that will be hilarious.
Yeah.
Nobody does any damage.
5 heals the dream. And you run Soraka Lulu.
Oh god.
Support Karma. AD carry could be Sion.
I am interested to see how the first fight does come out, though, because Scarra's exhaust will be extremely important.
Buddy Fufu gets exploded over the wall. Nothing's going to save him there. Down he goes.
Yeah, that's what we talked about in Champ Select, why Dignitas rely on Kiwi Kid for a lot of the plays to be made, and why they locked in that Annie pretty early for them. Vision control around Dragon comes back up, and they get the jump on Team Curse, rewarded with an objective. Curse are in a bad spot trying to answer Dragon with mid-turret pressure.
So Quas going to run away. Double Ruby Crystal still in the inventory, actually. Going to wait for a while to combine those the rest of the way up. But Dignitas, now the inside track in the mid lane. Good Javelin hits I Will Dominate. Cruiser going to zone the team away, put a ward down as well. Dignitas are going to stay for this one, but Bunny Fufu off of the wings has the ulti. Puts it down. They stun Crumbs. Quas comes in. Voidway off the wings. He's got 2 Qs to go to the knockup. Puts the wind wall down. Goes back to the engage. Cruiser in the air. They don't go for that one yet, though. The flash is coming across the wall.
He exhausted
the chase still coming through. Cruiser versus Dominate. Dominate wins that fight. Looks like Curse are picking up kills. Voidway still has the ulti to re-engage. Dignitas run away.
So right before this, I called out where is Scar going to use his exhaust. It was down on Mundo. The Sunfire Cape Rush Mundo. Not going to deny a lot of damage, and this is the hard engage versus the Nidalee comp. This is the give and take. Yes, it was a 1-team fight for Curse, but they're still behind in gold, and they've got a long ways to go. Great Solar Flare from Bunny Fufu. They get the engage, and the fallout from damage is quite nice. Dominate comes right in, and they're able to lock up Cruiser here. The exhaust going down on Jax to keep his damage low. Nice jump there from Dominate. The confidence to go after Jax.
Yeah. I'm actually so surprised that Jax even died in a very auto-attack heavy team fight. That he's dealing with Sinjao, he's dealing with Yasuo, dealing with Corki, and he's like, actually got focused down pretty early on and died. I'm surprised that a champion who generally excels at not getting auto-attacked was the target and didn't fall.
The double heals also did a lot of work for Curse there. Quas, as we said on Mundo, bringing even more to the team fight because he is running a heal.
Yeah. And I mean, he's going to get Spirit Visage very soon. He's started the recipe on that one already.
Like, we saw the difference between Flash and heal. This is why I'm bringing up the point of actually dropping Flash, which is nobody has done in a very long time. We saw in that team fight, Cruiser uses his Flash. He flashes out of the fight, but he still dies because Dominate can follow him. But
to be fair, Dominate flashed.
Whereas Quas was able to add healing for everybody. So yeah, the answer to Flash, more flashes still, so probably won't see it drop off, but I do like the move on Mundo.
Just bring teleport. It's like a longer range flash.
Well, he's got that as well for you.
Yeah. There you go. See? Made it happen. Plays that summoner. Heals to stay. Flash is optional.
Ooh, gets it right in behind that minion.
And that's before any magic pen or the completed death caps. That will get scarier. Scarra doing his piece-by-piece wave clear, sniping out some caster minions. Pink ward coverage for Dignitas. Looks like Curse is going to let him have this one. Quaston on the top lane. Uh-oh, getting a lot of damage onto him. bursted down. Cruiser gets the kill credit, 3,000 gold to Dignitas.
Now that's going to give them control of this top lane. They also have a wave coming in, and Nidalee has blue buff. This is perfect scenario for Dignitas. They would love to siege up at this outer turret here and throw spears for as long as they can. Well, I see how well Voyboy can try and protect this with his wind wall. Looks like they don't even want to get close because the dive would be very, very, very real.
True. It's 4v5 without any kind of a big front line. Dignitas going to stay, take the damage for it. QtPie picks it up. 5-1 in turrets now. Dignitas well winning the objective game.
And they also run right after that turret goes down because they just saw Quas come up and his teleport is available. They did not want to get another solar flare locking them down.
You know what's interesting about the way this is playing actually is Dignitas have forfeited the last couple of dragons. They're only playing when they get the damage in, when they get the picks. But it's interesting, if Dig keep forfeiting dragons, they have to push quickly because they're basically getting 1 to 2 turrets per dragon that Curse gets, right? And if they can keep that pace, they'll stay ahead in gold. Uh-oh, Kiwi Kid might get turned into a smoothie there. I will dominate going in. 1 hit to go, takes the solo kill. That was nicely done.
Yeah, he might have been able to run a little closer towards Skara, but Kiwi Kid was pretty much dead there. Now the dive could come from Curse.
And we go slow in from Quas. Skara has nowhere to go except backwards. 1 more hit, puts the exhaust down again, and he goes down to cop another kill now. Curse keep finding random kills and getting their sieges off that.
Yeah, not only did they get that solo kill, but also the exhaust is going to be down for the next team fight. Meanwhile, dual push here from Dignitas.
That TV's going to stop. He killed the turret. There's no defense right now. QtPie can keep going.
Yeah, though you want the reduced cooldown by teleporting to a turret, you have to use it on a minion because they can't actually kill a minion. The turret can go down. QtPie with a great job, no fear, is able to get the top turret. It's 2 for 1 for Dig here as far as the pushes are concerned.
Will QtPie stay? It's going to be a bad fight. He'll die if he stays for it, most likely. He's going to try to make his escape now. A little bit low on health. Dashes away, gets rid of the slow, but Quas, I don't think he's going to be stopped.
Yeah. QtPie is trying to run over to Jax for some support, but Cruiser...
Summoner heal comes out, the dodge. They get the inhibitor, actually. Quas, now she's forced to defend against Cruiser. QtPie gets away, but he's getting chased by Curse right now.
Yeah, Cruiser runs the opposite way. This is a great strategy here. The crisscross from Dignitas.
Oh,
they get QtPie out the bottom and Cruiser up the top here.
Void doesn't have boots. He couldn't chase down against Lucian. Static Shiv, not as good as boots do.
Oh man, the switcheroo there from Dig. What a beautiful play from them.
Double inhibitor take versus mid inhib being down. What a counterattack. Dignitas continuing to out-strategically play Curse.
Yeah, that was amazing. Skara gets dove mid, and Dignitas make the call to push both sides, gaining so much more than Curse.
So now, Curse, how well can you hold on to these minion waves? Because there's a bunch of gold flooding in. There's 2 basically one-sided minion waves that Curse can farm for XP and gold. So how well does Dig siege mid? How well do they control Dragon and Baron? Or can they siege off the super minions?
I don't know. That was just such a huge swing in power in the last 2 minutes. Curse didn't even get the middle inhibitor after taking down that inhibitor turret, since they all were trying to cut off both members of Dignitas that did the pushing. So much momentum there for Dignitas.
We're going to see another objective go their way. So, 3,000 gold. Interestingly, the gold is actually incredibly still close between these 2 teams. Dignitas up 3 turrets, but the kills are close, right? Minions going back and forth. I'm amazed like how much it feels like Dig are able to create these advantages on very similar powered teams right now.
Yeah, well, it's not like their power is going to fall off either. They've got the Jax and they've got the Nidalee. Like, they are very happy going towards the late game with 2 inhibitors down. They can even, you know, do sneaky Barons. It's a Trinity Force play to the Ruin King Jax. He can do a duo Baron, and they can control mid lane with a blue buff Nidalee. So there's so many options now for Dignitas.
Yeah, well, right now Dig are sweeping away the wards inside of Baron, but there's one to the left that they don't see right now. Quas still holding down to this bottom lane, a giant wave up in the top as well. And Dignitas are going to start this one out. Cruiser's going to get seen, I think, going in towards this.
Not sure if that outer ward. He did ward hop to it, so they might have got a glimpse, but 2 inhibitors down means there's so much pressure. And with the other 3 members of Dig zoning, I don't think there's any way that Curse could actually face check that without terrible results.
Yeah, you're right, Curse aren't even going to try it. Quas actually back to his Nexus turrets defending. Baron goes down to Dignitas. 4,000 gold lead, 2 of 3 dragons, the only Baron, of course. And they can make that siege even better next time.
Yeah, this is going to be a pretty strong push from Dig here. This might be game-ending siege. They've got that purple and blue Nidalee, and Jax, once he gets Baron buff, is ridiculous, benefiting from both the AP and the AD that it gives. This should be Dignitas making quick work of the mid.
It's going to take a bunch of damage. All of Curse will converge when they can. Voyboy not going to win wall that yet.
So here's what's going to happen is Curse is going to have to make their last-ditch effort here. They have to go for a hard engage, and they have to try and burst down Dig before the dual lines of super minions come in. If they wait, then they are pretty much screwed.
Well, Bunny Fu just took a giant javelin. He's forced to disengage. Turret goes down. Curse stuck in their back of the base. Now 3 inhibs are going to fall. Dignitas, right now they own Curse's base. Yeah. Still a 5v5, but there's minions coming in. Dominate takes another javelin. Top inhib respawns. And it's going to be the engage. Dominate gets the knockup. Here comes the fight. Dominate goes down though. So far 5v4. Solar Flare comes in a bit late. Cop still putting in damage to the backline. Cutie-Pie finds a second though. He finds a third. It's going to be Curse getting routed in this fight. Bunny Fufu also going to go down. 26.5 minutes in. Dignitas find their big break. Turret number 1, turret number 2. Going to be the Nexus. 1-0 Dignitas.
I think Dignitas showed a very good handle on the 4.5 changes here. They punish the Feral Flare play correctly. They get very early pushes going, and they continue with the pressure onto the turrets.